Coop had had enough and arranged to crush her affections. He'd planned it down to the last detail. Step 1, ask her to prom. Step 2, show up late, without a corsage. Step 3, continually leave her alone to go off with friends. Step 4, get caught kissing the gorgeous Rosie McDonough. His plan had worked brilliantly. What he hadn't expected was to feel like the worst sort of asshole for what he'd done. He'd only wanted her to stop trailing around after him. But seeing her bent double, tears pouring from her eyes, had made his stomach ache. She hadn't even confronted him that night, just backed away and caught a ride home from the dance. Never again did she dog his footsteps or turn those overly brilliant eyes in his direction. If they ran into each other in the hallways of school, she always took care to avert her face as if he didn't exist. To this day, 11 years after he'd tricked her, her large, teary eyes still haunted him. Now, whenever possible, they steered clear of one another. He imagined her reasoning with some prolonged sense of embarrassment, but he'd been the one who was ashamed. They'd become frenemies of a sort whenever they were in public, and privately, they avoided each other like the plague. Exhibit A. Currently, she crept through the shrubbery. Exhibit B. Here he was, attempting to make himself skinnier than a column, which was nearly impossible. That's what he got for all those hours of manual labor in his barn and regular workouts at the gym. "Damn it, Eddie," she muttered. "How the hell am I supposed to get you out of that pool without help? Levitation?" She sneezed and glanced up. "What do you think, Saul?" Coop squinted, unsure if his eyes were deceiving him. Nope, they weren't. A scurry of squirrels lined a branch over Summer's head. They chattered among themselves, as if having a discussion about the removal of Eddie from the pool. One furry rodent got particularly aggressive. If Coop didn't know better, he'd say it was enthusiasm for its plan. In its fervor for the subject, the head squirrel took a misstep and plunged to the ground. Summer's reflexes bordered on the supernatural as she held out a hand and caught the animal midair. With a stroke of one finger over its furry head, she whispered words only known to the animal and tossed the creature back up to the branch, where 4 other squirrels were leaned over, watching their companion plummet towards certain death. "You're welcome, Saul," Summer said to the ringleader. "Think nothing of it." Distracted, she faced forward and appeared to contemplate the bigger problem at hand. Who the hell was this woman? Dr. Doolittle? "What you doing?" The deep voice behind him nearly had Coop coming out of his skin. "Jesus, Knox! That's a great way to get shot!" He scolded in little more than a whisper. "Except you aren't wearing a gun." His cousin stated the obvious. "And I happen to live here." "Is that my bacon?" Knox grinned around a bite of the perfectly cooked meat. "Don't know. It was sitting on the counter, waiting to be devoured." "Shh! Lower your voice or she'll hear you." "She?" asked the voice of an outraged female. He closed his eyes and sighed, fighting to keep the sickly look off his face. He spun around. "Oh, hey, Summer." The spitting mad female in question narrowed her eyes and refused to speak. In an effort to change the subject and not allow himself to think about how much this one female terrified him, Coop pointed to Eddie. "Your damned elephant is in my pool again. Want to tell me what plan you and the squirrel mafia came up with to get him out?" She sucked in air so sharply she choked. Face an alarming shade of crimson, she attempted to hack up a lung. If he took delight as he pounded a little too hard on her back, well, he had to take his pleasure where he could get it. Knox handed her his bottle of water, and the grateful look she shot his cousin's way had Coop bristling. At 6'2" and 195 pounds, Knox had a lean, muscular build designed to turn a woman's head. Added to the superb physique, the man's sun-bleached blonde hair and laughing sapphire eyes cemented his status as a town heartthrob. He had only to show that uber-white smile and panties dropped left and right. Summer didn't appear immune to his cousin's charms either. Why the idea of her drooling over Knox bothered him, Coop couldn't say. After being the